Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Square Technology. I'm your host Ryan, and let's get ready to SolidWorks. Happy Hump Day, or the day after diabetes collection. Halloween, that is. Candy, right? Or, pretending to be something you're not. Costume parties. Haha. What did you dress up for Halloween? Or did you? In my case, I dressed up as a YouTuber. Haha. Not really. But today we are going to make a second logo that is the opposite of the other one I made. And you're probably wondering what? If you go back a few Wednesday videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. This one is going to be particularly interesting because we're working from an architectural version, still in metric, but at architectural scale. It's massive. So we are going to draw it 1:1, because that's how you always draw a part, and then we'll scale it down according to what the drawing scale shows. So, with that, let's get started. Steve Jobs, don't sue me. Alright, so this one is a busy drawing, and I get it, there's a lot of dimensions in here, but they dimension inside the part. Sometimes I guess you can't avoid that. So front plane, Control 8 to bring it normal to. We're going to try the approach of building this from the bottom up. But to start, what we'll do, we'll use what looks like their center point. And this initial line will be a midpoint. Like this. This overall dimension. So this is going to be the dip radius and then the bottom dip radius here of this logo. This is millimeters, so let's switch over. Give that a moment to switch over here. Alright, get back in and edit. We want this for construction. And this is going to be huge numbers here. These are crazy large numbers. 14,520. This is in millimeters, which then scales to meters. Yeah, this is pretty wild. Then from here, we're going to make another center line. That goes down 920. Trying to make it as they have here, but my God, they're all things considering pretty well dimensioned, I suppose. Midpoint from this. And that's going to be a width. Ooh, this is not midpoint. Because one dimension is actually slightly different. One is 3660 and the other one is 3430. So we cannot do this. This is wild. So we got to do center lines galore. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing per se. It's just, it's going to get really busy here. Now the other part of it too is this is no longer correct. Okay, so there's my first mistake. We must remove this, and even that little endpoint there. So, this dimension is somehow hits the top point of that radius, yet this radius is not on center. This is wild. So we really can't even do this. This is not... we'll try. You're going to see that there's a bunch of offsets going on here. So check this out. They take this dimension all the way out, down, and around, and back in to get this. This is so bizarre. Pretty crazy. So what we'll do is, there's a lot of adding and subtracting, but the apple bite radius comes out here. So we'll make this. My God, those look so. $1430 minus 260. Why don't we make this center point first? Again, where you want to start with this could be entirely up to you. But I'm trying to build from the bottom up, so what I'm having to do is chase a dimension that goes like this, down and around, just to get these bottom X dimensions, if you will. So this thing is from center 3680, like such. Then it is down. We're going to close out of this and drag this below because that's where it belongs. From center, it is down 1430 minus 260. Okay. So that gives us the center point of a radius, but we're not going to make that yet. And then from here, they break this down so many different ways. Comes out here. I'm literally going to pretty much kind of draw this based on what they have, so we can kind of keep track. Do you need to do it like this? No. You could probably combine certain dimensions, but why not break it down in a sense to what they have? So you can keep track of kind of what is where. And then that's 2130. Okay. Now watch this. This is what's so wild. These are all construction lines, by the way. Or center lines. I mean, we could actually just do this. We'll stop it right here for a moment. And I don't know why they give this particular dimension. Ah, yes. So that's going to be here. And that's going to be 8600. That's going to give us kind of this bottom reference dimension. And that's going to be 1480. Alright, so now what we'll do here, this is where things are going to get so wild. Where do those come down from? 1820. Okay, so I'm going to use a point actually to show you this. This is so crazy. So we're going to put a point here, and it's going to have a dimension of 820 off of this one here. Such, and then it's going to be so what sorry, this dimension here is incorrect. It just, sorry, it doesn't exist at all. So after reevaluating this here, I was like, something's not adding up here. So y, that's only a width dimension, so this is duplicated, unnecessary. Or is it? It's not. It's necessary. But you'll see. Okay, so from here, follow this. Get ready for this craziness. This is 1480 plus 4960 plus 3430. So that's this. Now, from here, put a seatbelt on. We now will create not a midpoint. We're going to create a line this way. And this dimension here will be 3430, like such. And then another center line out this way. This is why we can't use a midpoint line. A dimension here of 3660. Okay. So that gives us those 2 points there. Two, 7, 1, 0. And we're gonna have to do something to this effect. So from here, we're gonna go center line down. Pick up the center line to be from there. Oops, we're already in a problem right here. This is actually reversed, and this gets tricky really quick. It's 1820. There we go. Trying to datum this as best I can. This is messy. Okay. So this from here is going to be 1820 plus 920 plus 4050. Okay. So let's see if this is going to work out. Put the center point there, coincident. Then we're going to do 2 more arcs here. And you're not going to mirror it either. Cannot mirror it, it looks like. This is so bizarre. So this center point is here. Coincident. I'm quite sure these are going to be tangent. grab the center point. Coincident. Drag it out. These are equal. It doesn't like that. Okay, it's fine. Four, 960. Why won't it allow these to be tangent? I wonder if those can be equal. Oh, they can't be equal because of this distance here. Well, that is most bizarre. So if these have different dimensions, then they're somehow tangent, yet they're not. Whew. $49.60. These shouldn't be tangent. $2,710. Wonder if that was a typo in this dimensioning here. Does not appear to be though. This may have to be a spline, I'm not 100% sure. $49.60. Aha. There's the issue right there. These never meet up. And those have the same height. Well, that's very interesting. Like these infinitely do not. So let's see if we add a line between these two, if we can make this tangent to itself and then this one tangent to itself. It's gonna have to be a patch because these don't exactly add up, and these two here can in fact merge with the way they are. But even that doesn't quite have a fluid face. So instead of making this coincident, let's do another patch here. Zoom it in, tangent, tangent, doesn't like that. Okay. Why don't you like that? Oh, because they could just merge and... Got it. Fine, we'll just merge these two. And then hit Control S. And how we're doing. I'm gonna say we are going to call this part 1 of making this logo, as this has an extreme amount of points and coordinates that we really need to create to do this. Some level of justice. And I'm just noticing that it's like, for one, this point here is supposed to be what this measures here. So if I were to take a center line and go from the midpoint, do they add up? Let's see. Good, they do. Okay, cool. So we're on track, partially, minus this situation here. But we will continue this next Wednesday, where we'll, again, build up. Is this the right way to do it? You might find a simpler way to do it. It may already exist out there. That's okay. I'm making this kind of a challenge to see if I can build from the bottom up, because it does appear that you can make this with a bunch of circles, almost, but we'll try it a different way. So stay tuned next Wednesday, where we'll continue on with the Apple logo or finish it. It all depends on how things flow. Until then, hope you learned a little bit of, using center lines, because this has a lot of reference points for radiuses. It's pretty much all radius and or circles, technically. But until then, take care.